yesterday we took a long trip down the river, pretty much off the charts, and we're kind of in new territory. This is in Narciso's farthest cabin out. And, you know, I was sleeping last night and decided I just wanted to make some advanced kind of basket fish traps. And so this morning went out, grabbed an odd number of sticks. We make this similar to the way that we've shown you how to make baskets previously in other Sigma 3 videos. Jam them into the ground, and then we go and grab lots of different vines. We need some larger size vines, and then we also need some smaller vines. And essentially what we're doing, instead of making like our traditional egg-shaped baskets or bamboo baskets, is we're using a twining method. And twining it's not something that I can at least do in my area back at home in the States, because the vines aren't good enough. But the vines are so fantastic down here in the jungle that, I mean, you can literally tie it in knots. So twining is an option down here. It's a very simplistic technique. You know, you jam your sticks in the ground. I made a loop to tie it on to keep the frame good, and then I'm simply doing you know, kind of a wrap with the vines all the way around to create a structure. And then I'm going to cap it off and throw a funnel in.
It's very good for making some water too.
When you want to end your twine, you just like on a traditional basket, you just find a place to stick it, secure it, wrap it back around itself, and trim it off. What me and Cyrus are working on right now is we are setting the last loop. So we did our twining to the level that we wanted, and then we just kind of made a Christmas wreath type thing with the vines, and then we're tying that in with some of the thinner vines. They call them women's vines around here. They're very pliable, and you can pretty much almost tie them in knots. And then while he's doing that, I'm coming and sticking some of these palm shoots and filling in the gaps. And I'm just running those right through the middle of the twines. And this is a superior method for building baskets versus some of the, you know, other methods that we've showed you in the past. As far as convenience to build, they take less material and are much faster, but they require very pliable vines. You couldn't do this with a lot of the vines back home in the States, but down here in the jungle it's a little different. Alright, we've got our top ring in. Now I'm just going to take and trim these sticks off, and then we're going to start working on our funnel. Next step, now that we've got the main portion of our basket done, is we've got to make a funnel. All I've done is taken a stick and drawn a circle, and then taken another sharpened stick, and I'm going to lay out exactly where I want my spokes. This will make life a lot easier when we're twining this together. And so I go ahead and pre-drill those holes all the way around, making sure I've got an odd number of spokes, just like all the other previous baskets we've taught you. And then I take, these are palm, sweet to palm, and I'm just going to jam those in exactly where I want them. To get your twining started, just pick a spoke and then start wrapping it around, over, under, in a twisting fashion. You just repeat that process all the way around the funnel. We made our funnel, and then we did our twining. We did a couple of levels of it, and we took our wreath and we're attaching it to the outside so that when we set this into the main basket, it will fit on the inside of the ring here, or it will fit right on the lip so that it can be easily removed in and out for when you want to get your fish out. We're doing a similar technique for attaching the wreath as we did the wreath up here, and we're going to run it all the way around, and we want the depth of the funnel to be maybe about 16 inches into this specific basket, and how far you put it in is going to depend on the height of your main basket. Got the funnel finished up, and it was real simple. All we did was, add a Christmas wreath type setup around the edge, and then we just filled in the gaps with straight palm sticks. Set the gap to where you want it. We usually sharpen the sticks at the base so it's harder for them to come back through. Then you just pop it in just like any other type of funnel trap. Maybe you can either attach it with a couple of sticks, or you can twine or add some vine, tie it off around there. And then we did one up. I had a little idea towards the end. Instead of tying this off, like we do it traditionally, what I made was a bait tube. And essentially you catch a few, you get some guts from, some kind of land mammal or other fish that you've caught. You chop them up, you throw them in the tube, which makes them harder for the large fish to get. You go ahead, let go. Set it in here, and then tie a vine around it. And this is essentially going to be like a big chum zone. And when you set these basket traps out, that's what you want to do. Every time you catch a fish, you go ahead and you gut it, you throw it into your bait tube, and you're just constantly chumming that area. And it takes a while for fish to get used to the trap being in that spot. But then it becomes like a habitat as well as a feeding spot for them, and then the larger fish start coming in. So it may take a little while for your basket trap to get going before you start producing fish, but once it does, it will produce consistently. And this is a real simple trap. It took us about, we're a little bit new to some of the materials down here. We've got about 3 hours involved in it, and it's just another way of doing a basket. And as you well know, we're pretty high on this type of method for catching fish. Doesn't take anything but a knife, some jungle vines, and some straight sticks.